Hey, everybody, and welcome into Talking Tuscaloosa. Luke Robinson along with Jimmy Stein. As always, Jimmy, how are you today?
I'm doing quite fine. And here we are 60 days, literally 60 days from the start of fall camp football practice.
Are you doing your player countdown via the numbers like you normally do?
I am doing that on crimsoncountryclub.com, where we've done that for several years. It's somewhat popular. They tell me it's popular, though very few people reply to my blurbs. But what we're really doing is not exactly super creative, but what we're doing is counting down the days till practice starts. And obviously, each day we get closer, we discuss a different player who happens to wear that number. Like, for instance, today we're 60 days out. So number 60 on the team's Kendall Randolph. So just a little blurb about, what we think about, how Kendall's career is going and where we see him contributing, if any. And we've done that starting with number 99 when it was 99 days until practice starts, which this year, ironically, was one day before the NFL draft. And here we are now at day 60. And, it's just a good way to literally pass the time and discuss literally every player on the team before practice gets here. And I like to count down to practice. I know most people understandably count down to the season starting, and it's not like we're not looking forward to that. But my point is, once practice starts, now we have something to talk about every single day. There's something new to talk about every day once practice starts. That there's no dearth of subjects to discuss. So that's why we count down to the day practice starts, because that's literally the day, as far as I'm concerned, the 2019 season begins.
I'm right there with you. I guess we should start, though, with the end of the run for the Alabama girls softball team. By the way, I reiterate, watching softball is so much more fun than watching baseball. Now, maybe that's because our baseball team hadn't been worth a damn for the most part. But I would say this, even if Alabama were in the middle of a championship hunt, I really believe that watching softball is more fun than watching baseball. Prove me wrong, Jimmy. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not going to, because now part of it is I admittedly don't sit around watching girls softball. Let's say it's Texas Tech versus Kansas. I'm probably not going to watch that, although I might watch a handful of minutes before I switch something else. But I don't go out of my way to watch girls college softball. However, when you have a dog in the fight, when it's the Alabama Crimson Tide and you see them play, it's easy to get attached to these teams. And I enjoy the hell out of watching Alabama play girls college softball, because we know the players, know who they are. We have a rooting interest. So I like it. And I'll say this, if Alabama was in the regional baseball tournament and the regional softball tournament, I'm not saying I'd enjoy the softball more, but I certainly would like them equally. I don't like the Alabama baseball any more than I like Alabama's softball team. So I would say it's equally entertaining to me. But the fact that the girls' team is winning and the boys' team is not, there's no doubt which one gets more of our attention.
Yeah, but the girls do seem to put a lot more energy into these things. And I watched some of the baseball this weekend. I didn't watch a ton of it, but I did watch some of it with the NCAAs. And don't even get me started on Major League stuff. But the softball girls, man, they're just into it. They're cheering. They're always standing up. It's just, I just thought it was pretty cool, and hats off to them for making it that far, certainly. Again, we're making this a very quick one because I've got one of my several children back in town today, and that stuff going on. I'm actually headed to Las Vegas on Wednesday.
Check it out. It used to be, I mean, I'm sure you won't be shocked to hear this. I've never been to Las Vegas.
What? Are you serious?
Never been.
What the hell is wrong with you? That sounds like Talking Tuscaloosa road trip. Lawrence footing the bill.
There's too much good stuff on TV. I can't get away from the TV that long.
Well, see, but
I mean,
that's where you would pass out. It would be like chloroform to you to be in a sports book on the first day of college football.
I could not agree more.
After multiple orgasms and
oh my God.
oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm thinking of one of the strip clubs, Spearmint Rhino or something. No, but you would fall out in the damn floor. It's awesome. It's sports books for the first day of college football or any day of college football. Really, they're all good. I
have no doubt. I'm considering it. I'm considering my 50th birthday is next year, and I would like to. This is my early thought is I want to do a guy thing on my 50th birthday. I'm not sure exactly what just yet, but also want to make it a couples thing where we're going to do a guy's thing, but also the women folk can all come along and may or may not participate in the guy thing. But if like, for instance, and I'll bring it up because one of the ideas, I'm down to about 10 things I'm considering, and one of them was just Las Vegas. I was just all right, Vegas, and let's go with kind of a couples thing, but it would still be a guy's trip, and we'd do things like bring golf clubs and stuff.
Why don't, if you want to do a guy's thing though, just go to Tuscaloosa and go to Glory Bound.
What is this? It's the only thing on Twitter. It's the only thing on Twitter that is over my head. I'm
right there with you, man.
What are they talking about?
I had no idea.
Discussion between Cameron Luke Ratliff and Lindsey Black, right?
And by the way, those are two of my favorite Twitter peoples. But sure. So I had to ask a friend of the program, Jamie Barnes. I was like, dude, this video, everybody's talking about the video, and they're making these jokes, and I'm not getting them, and I'm getting pissed.
I thought they were talking about the Lindsey D'Angelo Purefoy thing.
No.
Okay.
They're talking about apparently. Two dudes decided they just couldn't wait, and they were like on the counter at this place called Glory Bound. That again, I don't know that I've ever eaten there. Whatever.
It's an eating place.
It's an eating. They serve gyros, and as several people were saying, now they've got some new tzatziki sauce. But that's not the way I'd go with it. I'm repeating what Twitter said. Oh yeah, they were going downtown, and somebody videoed it.
They were whacking off in this restaurant?
No. These two guys were enjoying each other's company.
They were having sex in the restaurant.
Apparently, yes. I haven't seen the video. I'm just telling you.
There's a video?
Huh?
And there is a video.
There is a video of it that was making the rounds, and it got to the point where I was like, Jamie, I got to see this video. And then he was like, okay, it's two dudes. And I was like, all right, I don't really need to see the video, but part of me is still not getting these jokes without seeing this video.
We're just trying to understand the jokes.
I just want to understand the joke. This is nothing sexual for me. I have 4 children. Nothing's ever sexual for me anymore. I just want to.
But we don't want to be left out. Yeah, we don't want to be left out of Bama Twitter. We got to be in the Bama Twitter loop on all the.
I'm damn near asocial at this point in my life. Twitter is my connection to the world, to the sarcastic, shitty world. And when when Twitter has a joke that I don't get, I'm like, hey, somebody let me in. And I feel like a fool asking all these people, hey, somebody tell me what this joke is. And everybody
was DM'd
with an even bigger joke.
Almost DM. So I almost DM'd somebody going, somebody's got to explain this to me. I thought they were talking about literally Lindsey and D'Angelo Purefoy. Why did they come up with a nickname? Why did they come up with that nickname for this? Because that doesn't even make any sense. But
wait a minute, I don't. Now you're talking about something else that's over my head. I was so blown away by this news that two dudes getting it on. Either I don't know where they were. I've never seen the video. So on the counter or near the cash.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, is it in the bathroom?
No.
Tell me it's in the bathroom.
Somebody apparently was walking by and videoed it.
And were they? Oh gosh!
But one of them.
I know our show's rated R. Were they? But what were they doing? Full sex.
Full downtown sex. Now, do I know? Thanks. Do I know this?
I don't know.
No, I do not. But I do know this. Glory Bound put out some stuff on their social media saying, "Hey, we fired the guy he was an employee who had access. We trusted him." He violated that trust and apparently violated somebody else.
He violated all sorts of stuff.
And then about
17 statutes in Alabama.
Well, no, I'm right. So, I mean, I'm right there with all them, and I feel bad for Glory Bound. I do. I feel bad for them as a business. You know, if you give somebody the keys and you're like, you're the manager or whatever, like lock up, and the next thing you know,
it's their fault for naming the place that.
Yeah.
What do they think people were going to do in there?
Oh, there's, yeah. If it had been,
I mean, hell, called Glory Hole.
Yeah,
we're just one step away from calling it Glory Hole.
If it was Glory Hole or like, you know, Big Butts Barbecue or something like that, I don't know. Or
Yikes!
Dick's Finger Licking Good.
Oh God!
Rabbit Hole. Or I don't know. That's nobody would ever name their restaurant that.
Lindsay, the famous Alabama fan. You all see her on TV because she's in the front row of the Coleman Crazies. What do they call themselves? Avery's. You know, whatever they. You know, the students. They're the students that show up to the games. They're always in the front row, and Lindsay's off in the front row, and she's very visible on Twitter. Yeah, apparently, Auburn basketball player, the Purefoy guy, he did not realize she was a bit of a celebrity, and she talks basketball all the time, and he stupidly crept into her DMs, as the young people call it. He slid into her DMs.
No, he didn't. You don't creep into him. He slid.
He crept. He slid. He slid head first. If you know what I'm saying.
Well, I do. We just talked about Glory Bound.
And she, being full of Alabama, as you know she is, instead of saying, hey, don't do, I'm not interested, she decided to, hey, wouldn't it be fun to have a conversation with him, and then just put the whole thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
So she outed him, and apparently he had a girlfriend. I don't know if he still does. I don't know how. I don't know all of the details, but I remember it being a very funny afternoon on Twitter when Lindsay, Alabama hero, basically just put out on Twitter, "Hey, guess who's been hitting on me all afternoon?" Oh, and it was like during the season, and I think he was on the road at maybe Florida or something.
No, I remember that.
Yep. So that's what I'm talking. And I had no idea. I just saw the conversation going on. I'm like, is that what they're talking about? I've never heard of this restaurant. No, I didn't know people had sex in. I'm old. I'm turning 50. I didn't know people had sex in restaurants. Is this a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm turning 47. You made that sentence too long for me. I didn't know it existed anymore. I thought after 45 it just disappeared into the ether. But no, I don't know much. Again, I don't know much about the story, and I do feel bad for the restaurant. I want to make this clear. It's not like they were promoting it. Hey, it's $2 off your Euro if you mention you watched
the video.
It's not like they said that.
Maybe they thought it's marketing. Maybe look what that sex tape did for Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. I think they went about this maybe the wrong way. They didn't think this all the way through. If that's the way they're going with it,
it was a good idea, poorly executed.
It was. They were like, okay, hear me out. Viral marketing campaign, sex tape. Everybody said, good, go with it. We don't need to hear the rest of the plan. He said, got you covered.
We're in. What could possibly go wrong?
But but I'll say this, and like a lot of people have come to their defense. Like they've had some Twitter power hitters come to their defense. Like Hunter Johnson said, I will be eating there again, and and because nobody wants him to go out of business for this because it's not their fault.
Stamp of approval. Well,
and also what I would say is, I would probably eat there because number one, something fun may break out. Who knows?
Apparently.
Number two, it will be the cleanest restaurant you've ever been in, ever. It will get 101 rating, unprecedented.
And they sell gyros there. Is that pronounced gyro or hero?
I think it's Euro.
Euro.
I think they can give up on the $5 footlong special they had, though. I think that's dead.
I'm going to find this video, and I'm going to dub a song over it while the sex is going on. That did you ever know that you're my hero? Hero.
Oh God! I mean, can you imagine? I mean, like, who's ever in charge of their PR just went to bed that night thinking, "Okay, I got to do a few things, got to eat."
Whoever's in charge of their
and they
PR.
wake up, they start getting texts about 3 a.m. and they're like, "I'm sorry, what they're doing? What on the cash register?"
Yeah.
It's
The,
funny
the vice
shit. All right.
the vice president of their marketing department. It's a small restaurant in Tuscaloosa. The vice president of marketing gets the call from one of their HR minions
Yeah.
at 3 a.m.
Yeah, we have a situation. Oh, what is it? Did Tom forget to order more honey mustard again? That Tom. I'd be like, no, 2 dudes were going downtown on the cash register. There's video evidence of it that's all around Twitter. We're going to need your advice. I'm sorry, what now?
The video's been retweeted by Hunter Johnson. No one's seen it.
That's the thing. Is like people are retweeting it, and that like I hope nobody looks at my search history, because when it was a joke and I had no idea what had actually happened yet, and it was just all these innuendos about like some kind of sex tape. The first 2, I guess I didn't get that it was 2 dudes, and so I started like searching for Glory Bound video. And apparently there's some shitty country song by called Glory Bound or something. It's probably by Florida Georgia Line, or Kentucky Tennessee Line, or some shit.
And now you're on a list of you're just trying to fit into Alabama Twitter. Now you're on a list of FBI subversives.
Oh, I know. I really went about this the wrong way, kind of like their marketing campaign.
Let's
okay.
sneak in some Alabama talk. Let's sneak in some Alabama talk into our normal podcast about gay sex in Tuscaloosa. We are talking
Tuscaloosa. First time listening to Talking Tuscaloosa. This is not normal, people.
This is what we mean by talking Tuscaloosa right here.
Javon Cornerly commits to Alabama. That was a
big time deal.
And also,
I mean, look at it like he's a McDonald's All-American and a 5-star. That makes this a huge deal. He played at Villanova. There's a strike 3. I mean, this is a huge deal. Now, that said, he hasn't been hugely successful on the court so far, and he's somewhat tied up into the FBI case. So,
I mean, but so is everybody.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, oh, he's in the FBI case, we're in trouble, or he definitely did something wrong. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that there's a lot of reason to get very excited and some reason to throw on the brakes. I think the smart thing to do is trust Coach Oates. Know that we have a talented kid to work with here. He may or may not be eligible this year. He has applied for the waiver for immediate eligibility. Who the hell knows how that's going to turn out? That seems to be a flip of the coin these days from the NCAA. It used to just be no. Now it's probably yes. Is kind of I think that's the standard policy now. Probably yes. But I think we shouldn't count on him this fall. Don't really need as a point guard. We got Kyra Lewis. We got Beetle Bolden. They can share, the point guard duties. Jordan Shackelford, sort of a combo guard. He could play there too. So it's not like we need Quinterly, this year. But I think overall, let's hope that Coach Oates can get the McDonald's All-Star, the McDonald's All-American. Let's hope Coach Oates can coach it out of the kid.
Well, and let's also say that
into the kid. Maybe coaching into the kid or out of the kid. I don't know.
Hoping to take him to Glory Bound on his recruiting list.
We have a wonderful program. Pay no attention to what's happening at the cash register.
Hey, is that Dwayne Rudd working the cash register? No, I'm just teasing.
Holy crap!
No, I'm teasing. That's an old joke. That's an old Alabama joke. Some people may not get it. Lawrence, bleep that out. I don't want to get killed by Dwayne Rudd.
It's a fair request. This all started with my 50th birthday thing next year.
I'm getting you.
I'm not going to Vegas or Glory Bound right now. I'm worried about both. I'm probably going to stick with my original idea and do the nerdiest thing possible. Nerdiest, but most Jimmy thing possible that doesn't have to do with Ariana Grande, who I saw 2 weeks ago and was fantastic. But the nerdiest thing possible, nerdiest guy trip that you can think of. What is it?
The nerdiest?
The nerdiest guy trip possible. That's what's
Star
the
Wars
leader.
Convention at MIT.
Well, I think it's slightly less nerdy than that. Although that's a damn nerdy answer.
You feel pretty much like a stud now, don't you?
Now what I'm doing is like very cool. No.
I mean,
Braves.
I'm fresh out, man. I don't know.
Well, my birthday, by the way, is in February, so so I don't have to do it literally in February, but sometime near there, month before then, month after, sometime in that general area. But I'm leaning now towards Braves fantasy camp.
Oh God, that is terrible.
I told you it was
Braves
nerdy.
fantasy camp.
Yeah, you get to go there and pay a shitload of money, and you get all your Braves gear. You go with your pals, you pay all this money, and then these former Braves are there, and you get to go on the field, and they give you instruction. You get to hit in the batting cage. You hit on their actual spring training field. You hit, in the batting cage, and you go on the field and hit. And then in the afternoon, you play games, and then you post for pictures with Dale Murphy and stuff like that, and you keep all your gear, and the Brave stuff, and it's about 3 days, and at night apparently you just go out drinking. Hopefully we go out drinking with Bob Horner. I haven't asked. Maybe I'm hoping that's part of my fantasy camp experience is drinking beer with Bob Horner. At night.
That's a weird fantasy.
That's a weird. I mean, yeah.
But I'll say that it is the most. It's the most accurate part of the fantasy so far.
That's good. So yeah, I mean, see, I'm 50. I think I'm still able to hit a little bit, throw the ball around, take a few grounders. I'm able to do it now, but I am running out of years where I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm that's what I'm leaning to. Also considering, golf school, which is kind of like golf camp, like 4 days of golf instruction in Florida. Also consider just a golf trip, maybe Pebble Beach, maybe TPC Sawgrass, Jacksonville, a golf trip.
Well, you need to work on your fantasies a little bit. Golf school, yeah. For my 50th, I want to go back to school. Anything with school in it.
Unless I got to go school.
Back to school marathon.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but or maybe find whatever concert tour is going on. I like the idea of kind of Grateful Dead, like find a tour that I really like that I'm into, and then buy tickets for like a whole week and go to like 4 shows in 4 cities to see whatever act is on the road that I'm really into at the time. Maybe that, but I don't know. Still got a while to think it over. Could be. I've seen Florida Georgia. You probably can't name an act that you would consider nerdy that I have not seen. And I've seen Florida Georgia Line.
Thomas Dolby?
4 or 5. Never got me there. Got me blinded. I have not been blinded by science in person.
When I think about nerdy songs, I mean, like Thomas Dolby. So that just popped right in there. I don't know.
I'd say the Ariana thing was basically nerdy in the sense that me and the Mrs. I look around. We're at the Smoothie King Center, where the Pelicans play basketball. So there's 20,000 people. It's sold out. There's 20,000 people or more in this place in New Orleans by the Superdome. And we look around while the house lights are on, and we're like the only couple in their 40s not there with kids, or the guys that are there in their 40s or with other guys that were candidates for that video that we've been talking about. They were there in numbers because Ari's very popular with that demographic. And but yeah, we were the beer lines were very short, put it that way, which is fantastic at a concert. No bathroom lines for the men and no beer lines. So I tied one on at the Ari show.
You just had it going in one and coming out the other. Just like Glory. I'm sorry, man. I feel so bad for this place. I do. Like I feel bad for them.
They should have come up with another. They should have come up with another name.
Well, I mean, that's
they're
immediately regretting the name.
Hey, well, I'm going to go. Like Hunter said, I may even tweet out. I stand with them. I'm going to go. I encourage all listeners to go. That's not fair to them, and it's some bad luck. So my next trip to Tuscaloosa, I may eat there 3 days in a row. That's
what you ought to tweet out.
Well,
I'm going to take one for the team and
Glory.
The Glory.
Oh boy! Oh my God!
Parking in the back at Glory. I'm sorry. I don't know. Are these jokes terrible? I don't even know. I mean, it's horrible. It's a horrible situation.
Okay. It was tragic.
All right. So,
football.
How about SEC is allowing drinking? Of course, Alabama and Auburn are, we're going to do studies and we're going to. Here's what I don't get. Okay. I swear to God, I don't get it. You could, Jimmy, here are the list of places you can drink now legally. Pro games, national championship games,
Ariana Grande show.
Ariana Grande show, other concerts, plays, select movie theaters, bar mitzvahs, birthday parties, funerals, weddings. I mean,
they sell beer at Chuck E. Cheese.
You can drink. I swear to God, no shit. Today I saw there was something on the news this morning about a guy like in Oklahoma City who's like, okay, you know, my attendance in church is down, so we're going to start having church meetings on Sunday afternoons at this local pub, so you can drink and talk the Bible. And I was like, that's pretty freaking brilliant. But you can't drink at the Alabama game, or when we finally do allow it, or you know, if you do something like Georgia, where if you're a $25,000 a year donor, then you get to stand in a select area, like an 8x8 area, with a bunch of other people who are trying to scarf these drinks down, and you get not watch the game. You do it like in the portal, and then you come back to your seat. Why can't they just treat us like adults? The more you treat people as though they're not responsible, they're going to act irresponsible.
Well, at Ohio State and Texas, you know, the two largest programs where they started allowing people to drink last year, their alcohol-related incidents were down almost 50%. And with the obvious reasoning being people weren't binge drinking liquor or sneaking liquor. And, you know, you can't sneak beer. I heard some people who obviously don't drink talking about this on the radio because they're talking about people been sneaking in beer. You can't sneak in beer. What are you going to sneak in a shot glass full of beer to drink in a 3? That's people that just don't know anything about drinking. If you're sneaking something in, you're sneaking in liquor. So people sneak in liquor and then they get drunk because they're small, but they pack a punch.
And it's hot.
And it's hot. And then they binge drink the liquor all morning because you don't want to drink beer all morning and then switch to the liquor or something. Right. But anyway, I'm just saying that now, if they're selling beer at the games, now nobody's binge drinking in the morning before they go into the stadium where they can't drink, or people aren't drinking as much liquor. They're just, hey, well, if I'm drinking beer at the game, I'll drink beer here at the tailgate because, you know, I don't want to switch. So, but that being said, I don't really care myself. I mean, even though I am obviously a drinker and have no problem with drinking, but I don't really care what they do at the games. I just feel that selling the beer and wine is inevitable. It's gonna happen. And it is pretty outrageous, exactly as you described, Luke, how I could go to Chuck E. Cheese and drink beer. And you can, by the way, they sell beer there.
Yeah.
If you can go to Chuck E. Cheese and drink beer, but you can't drink beer at the SEC football game, that's just stupid. It really is stupid. And I know that some people can't handle it. Fine. And if someone's drunk in their seat and are being a distraction for everyone around them, you treat it no differently like you treat it right now. People get drunk and rude in the stadium right now. Oh, trust me, we've all seen it. And you know, just, hey, if somebody can't handle it and they're acting like a jerk, hell, I've seen people sober act like jerks in there. You don't need, you know, if you're a jerk, you don't need beer to prove it, you know?
Well, and not only that, Jimmy, here's the thing. Take some of the profits you make from selling the alcohol and beef up security a little bit. And the moment somebody does something that pisses other people off, and especially if it's because of liquor or alcohol, then you toss their ass.
That's right.
Because don't let one rowdy jackass ruin it for everybody.
That's exactly right.
Yep. And again, I just feel like people ought to be treated like adults. And also, and I'm about to have to go, but I'm writing an article tomorrow about this. And I said, you know, think of all the great marketing opportunities. You can have drinks named after, you know, wherever you're selling them. You can have the Sabangria, you know, where it's like a really expensive wine, and instead of fruit, you just have prunes in there because Alabama likes to run through you. And then you have a shot of tequila afterwards. So you make that crinkled up face like Saban does every time somebody misses a block in the fourth quarter when he's up 44-3. Or you can have a Malzantini, which is a gin-based drink, but you don't know what it's mixed with because you never know what you're going to get with him.
Probably waffles.
Or you can have, that's good, you can have a mind eraser at Arkansas because you always want to forget what you just watched. You can have in Florida, you can have the Tim Tebow, which is going to be a virgin banana daiquiri, so you still might need to bring your own liquor in for that one. See, this works on so many levels.
It does. Well, you taught me into it. I thought it was funny. You know, Greg Byrne last night, you know, dropped a foul ball. Greg Byrne dropped a foul ball last night at the softball game. It was right there on TV. The announcers didn't notice it was him or call any attention to it. But obviously, Bama Twitter saw Greg Byrne drop that foul ball. I was thinking it would be funny. I went back and rewound a few times because I was hoping to see. You know, what would be great is if he is at the NCAA softball national championships and failed to make the catch because he was drinking a beer at the game.
Oh, that'd be funny.
And that would have been classic. That would have been like, oh, fine. Go to the games in Oklahoma City and drink the beer, but not allow us to drink beer in your stadium. But no, unfortunately,
we're going to say
not the case. And Greg's probably a bit too smart.
Oh yeah,
to be busted doing that. But I thought, man, it was great. I'm going to rewind and see if I can't find that happening.
If that had happened, people would be like, "Oh, I can't wait until Dixieland Delight comes back on. We're going to say fuck Auburn so loud they won't believe it." All right.
Well, that's going to happen. That's going to happen anyway.
Well, I got to run, man.
I expect we're going to get some commitment soon. Camp is the month that the board gets shuffled more than any other month. The board is shuffling as we're speaking.
It's a shuffling board.
That's a shuffle board. That's what they renamed the sport.
I dig it. Why did I put that together?
That's pretty good. Next week on Talking Tuscaloosa, shuffleboard.
More shuffleboard, less
More
gay
shuffleboard.
sex talk.
Less gay sex talk.
We're not saying no gay sex. We're saying less. Just less.
I think by definition there would have to be less. Basically, we did a 31-minute show and 28 minutes of it was on that. So
about something we didn't even see. We hadn't seen it.
Yep. Well, and since I've now committed myself to eating there multiple meals, I'm not sure I want to see it now.
All right. Also, Dwayne Rudd's one of my favorite players of all time. Just by the way,
he is an awesome player. He's an awesome. player.
I still remember. Listen, his
Number
interception
57.
return in the '96 Outback
94.
Bowl.
Oh, 96 Outback Bowl. You're right. I was thinking.
No, it's 96.
You're right. No, I was also thinking it was one he did in the '94 SEC championship game too.
No, 96 Outback Bowl because it was Gene Stallings' last game, and he returned that interception all the way, and then he ran to the sideline and just put his hands up on the little overhang thing and just sort of, I thought he was going to quit. I thought he was like, okay, I can't. It's George Costanza, this whole thing. He's like, I'm out of here. That's it. Good night. Best I could do. We beat Michigan's ass that day, too. Anyway, all right, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide. See you later.
Buddy, see you.
All right, bye.
Maybe the worst one ever.
That was our worst one or the best one? There's no in between. There's no in between there.
It's a gray area.
Let's sincerely hope when we watch the video we don't see gray areas.
Very dark gray areas. All right, bye.
Bye.